Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to the Technology Innovation Hub and the Oracle portal. So now we have done our base actually. Now we have two databases. If you follow the practicals and get the things ready by now, you should have environment with two databases coexisting in the same VA. So that's the setup we did. We installed Oracle 12c, 12201, and we installed Oracle 19, right? 19 the base edition. So now we have both databases ready to start with the practicals, right? So now from this video notes, I start from the scratch, right? Because this series is going to guide you on the very first basics, very beginning, right? So for anyone who want to start with getting familiar with Oracle database, who interested in building with Oracle database career, is the right place to start with, right? Okay, so and don't worry, so I'll be doing something interesting at the end of the video as well, because there will be questionnaires, right? So I'm going to introduce some questionnaires for each and every video. So make sure you are scoring 100%, right? That means not much of questions going to come, right? There can be 3 to 5 questions max. So try to score all the questions correctly, right? So, and if you do any mistakes, please go back to video and get the things, study it back and do the questionnaire again and get it 100%, right? And again, I'm planning to do very short videos, maximum 15 to 20 minutes, because that is more effective rather than going for lengthy hours, right? All right, let's start, right? Let me share my screen, right? My screen, right? Okay. All right, so this is the practical guide. I'll be sharing this one in GitHub, right? So this is the practical guide where it's going to start from the scratch, actually starting from the ID command in Linux, right? So that's why I said this is going to be very from the very basic, right? So I'll be sharing this one. Anyway, let's start from right away from the beginning, right? So you can follow the guide later. For the time being, I'm just going to demonstrate everything with practicals, right? So just follow it up. So if you are doing it with me, you can continue, no problem, right? And let me exit from here, because now already I have a terminal started here, right? So let me exit from everything, right? So I'm going to close everything, right? So minimize. So let's see, I'm back to my original place terminal. So right click, right? Open the terminal. Okay, it's put full screen, no problem. I'm in one terminal, right? So now I am in root ID command. So you can see I have logged in as root. So the reason is because I have logged into my operating system as root, right? So now root is not the right user to continue with Oracle database. No, so that is not recommended, right? Because root is a high privileged user and it's one of the OS database, OS, right? One of the operating system. We don't use root. Because Oracle has something called role separation, the separation of roles, right? Oracle is assigning duties of the Oracle database nicely to a user called Oracle, right? You may remember that we configure that user while we creating our doing our prerequisites, right? You remember we ran the RPM to configure the prerequisites. So that time Oracle user got created and no install group also got created. So now we have those things, right? So if you want to check that one further, you can just type the command cat etc ESS WD. So you know this one, we have done this one actually. I think I showed you earlier. You can see the Oracle user is there, right? And we can check the cat etc group as well, right? You want, right? Right. So that is that. Then now what you have to do, you have to first switch. So how do you switch? Switch user. You can just switch if you want, but let me do minus hyphen user is Oracle, right? So now if I type ID command, now I can see I'm in with Oracle user with group ID or install and other set of groups that we set it up, right? So That means I have switched to Oracle, right? So now I am ready to work with Oracle database. But before right away starting with Oracle database, so we have to learn more things, right? So, okay, let's do very small thing. Now, let's say as a very first beginner, and now we are sitting in front of the computer, you want to find out what are databases which is running, whether there is an existing database up and running at the moment or not. Very simple. That you can now, I'm in Linux now. So later we'll come back to Windows, but for the time being, let's stick to Linux base, right? So I can just type ps minus, right? ef grep daemon. Very simple. If I type this command, ps minus ef, process, extract, filter, and further filter to get the process monitor. We will learn what is pmon later. It's a background process in Oracle database, right? I mean, compulsory background process, pmon. If pmon is down, Oracle database is down, right? We have compulsory background process, system process monitor, checkpoint, DB writer. So this is a compulsory run. So pmon, we are checking the pmon is running, process monitor is running. And if you look at the output, you can see the processes and with the database name. The process name appended with the database name. Now I have two databases up and running, ORCL, ORCL CDB. Of course, this is the 19C1. You may remember the one we created. This is the 12C1. So we have two databases running. So it's very easy if you want to find out as soon as you sit in front of the computer. If you want to find out whether database up and running, very simple. In Linux, just type this command. It will give the output. So if any of the database are not running, it won't be visible. If I shut down one of them, it will go away. You can check that one. Anyway, since I have Windows also here, in Windows how am I going to do it? Very easy, right? In Windows, you just have to go to control panel, right? Or right away go to services, right? We can go to services, right? It's very easy. Windows, I think most of you know this, right? Go to services. And start, right? It's taking a long time. Okay, right? So it's services. We have a service called Oracle service. You can see I have Oracle service. Which one? I have Oracle service ORCL and Oracle service 19C. I have two databases here. Both are down at the moment. So if you locate this service, should be started up and running. At the moment, it's down. So at the moment, database neither of the databases are running. None of the databases are running. Both are down. But I can make it is just a confirmation that there are such two databases. How you get the name? After the Oracle service, the name appears. Oracle service ORCL1 is the name of this. Oracle service ORCL19 is the name of this. You can right click and start. Okay, I'm not going to work with Windows for the time being. Let's keep it away, right? And let's get back to our environment. So now, okay, if I want to connect, or let's connect to one of these databases, let's verify what I have just mentioned. I told that if one database is not running, the process should go off now. So let's check that, right? Okay, I'm going to right away connect without doing anything. Right away, I'm just connecting because I'm having two databases, but I'm right away connecting, right? CSAS 50. Okay, so I connected to 19C. That's the default. That's the database we installed. As the last database, no, 12 installed earlier, right? Okay, I'm going to shut this down. Shut down immediately. Of course, we can shut immediate, no need to go shut down, right? Okay, so shut down. We have learned this one in detail shutdown process and not. Also, the time being, let it go down, right? Okay, so that's the last one. It's shut down. Now it's fine. Okay, let me exit from here. I'm going to repeat the command. Now you can see it confirms. Earlier, it was this one was there because that was the 19C as I explained. So now it is gone. Now we have only the 12C one. Right? Okay, so that is how we check whether database is up and running. All right, so a spirit of it is trained, right? So now we are on this user, no, Oracle, no, right? Now on this particular thing, SU hyper. So as soon as you switch to that, if I type pwd, where am I? I'm in Oracle home. You know, in Linux system, whenever you create the user, the home directory automatically gets created, right? Like in Windows, the desktop is there. Linux user home, it gets automatically create home directory, right? So su hyphen, this hyphen means, okay, let me do it practically and show you. I'm going to remove hyphen and I'm going to switch. Let's check where am I. So this is what happens. If I do not give hyphen, what's going to happen is not taking me to my home. It's not taking me to my home. So the one reason why I'm giving hyphen, I need to take it to the home directory. Home directory. That is one reason I'm giving hyphen. And there's another reason why I'm giving hyphen. Right? Okay. Let me exit again. Right? And let me connect. Okay. So now I'm back to home directory. Yeah. You know, there's something called bash profile. Right? Bash profile. So vi dot bash underscore profile. This one, right? If I give hyphen, this one while connecting, the content of the bash profile will get executed. That's the second thing. The content of the bash profile will get executed. If I don't give hyphen, it will be ignored. That's the second thing. So be careful. You have to give bash the hyphen if you want to do those things. Normally, it is a requirement, right? I mean, if you don't want to switch to home directory, I mean, we are just landed somewhere else, right? So you can see it's going to root /root, right? And if you don't execute the .bash, what will happen? The settings will go, I mean, Oracle home, Oracle base, Oracle SID, those settings will not come up. So usually best practice is using hyphen, right? So su hyphen Oracle, so that will do it. All right. So hope it's clear up to now. Okay. So let's do one more step. Right. Now you know that switching, right? And let's assume is switch user, right? So now let's check our bash profile, right? So you can right away check it like this: vi dot bash underscore profile. And this is the way Linux works. We have bash profile for each and every user. So all the settings that you want to set up while the user is logs in the environment, you can set it up using the parameters using in the bash profile, and you can run the scripts as well. You may remember, while we configuring our environment, we configured such a script called set-env. Set-env. Without specifying the content right away in the bash profile, what we did, we got a separate sh file and we stored everything there, which is another good practice, right? Another best practice. So because we can modify the content of here right away, and we can have multiple contents rather than right away putting in the bash profile. So I will explain those things in more detail later. So right, this is a good practice. So easy to manage the environment using a sh file rather than right away putting the contents onto the bash profile. Right. So if you want, we can go there and check it. So I think we can check that one. So we have the script directory. This is the directory script, right? So script. So if you go to cd script directory. So this is the file. So vi set sh file. So that's why instead of putting in the bash profile, we have the sh file. Inside that, We have set all the contents to our example host name, unique name, Oracle base, Oracle home, very important, Oracle SID, right? So this is the 90C1 setting, right? That's the one which we used as the last installation. So that is one. And the path for the executable Java and SQL and those things are there, right? So these things will get executed when you type, if you type su hyphen, hyphen will run the bash file. So within the bash file, it is calling this script. So that is how the environment is set up. Yeah, that's another thing. Why it didn't come, right? It didn't come this way, right? Because that bash file is within my home directory. So now I am not in my home directory, no, right? Okay, so how you are going to get it, right? In that case, you can say vi, the tilde sign, tilde, not this, tilde sign, and this. That is the next thing actually we have to learn, right? If you are not in the home directory, if you are somewhere else, since the bash file is inside the home folder of the current user, right? You want to call it from anywhere, right? So this tilde will tell, go to home directory, right? And call the bash file, home directory of the current user, right? So that way you can call it like that. And you can see within that particular bash file, I am asking to execute dot, right? Dot means run this sh file, which we just saw earlier. Okay, right. So that is dot bash file, right? And why is dot? What do you mean by dot, right? This dot means it's a hidden file, right? Because let's go to the okay, now I am inside again home, no, right? So from here, I can right away call without bash, no, right? So it comes, right? But if I type ls command, ls minus l, so can I see dot bash? This file should be there, right? Because I'm calling it, right? So when I write vi file come, but I can't see it. It's not listing, right? ls lrt, I don't think. So the reason is dot means it's a hidden file. So if you want to get the hidden file out, you say ls la. So the attribute, the hidden attribute will be temporary. It will give the vicinity pass. So you can see the dot bash profile is here somewhere. We have this one. We have. That's why it is as a dot. That's the reason it's not visible. If you want to see the file, ls la will give you. Right? So it's pretty simple because now, for example, let's say again I'm typing ls. I want lrt listing with time, and okay, I won't see the file. So let's touch a file. You say touch a, right? So now I can see the file, right? A, this one, there, just created. If I want to hide this file, it's very easy. I can say mv a dot a mv. I know that name. So now if I type ls, I won't see the file, right? So earlier it was there, but now file is not there because why? I hide it. How do I hide? How did I hide? Add dot in front. So if I want to see the file, ls la will list the file. Very simple, right? Hiding file, right? And if you are in a GUI environment, you have to use Control H to make the hidden things visible. In GUI also this becomes invisible, no? Because it's hidden, no? So Control H will give the vicinity for you, right? It will make it temporary visible for you, right? Okay, let me just remove the file. RM. Okay. See, right? Yeah, so that's what. Right, our file is gone. Right. Right. Remember, even if you want to remove the file, we have to say dot, right? Because that's the way file is accessible. Okay, right. Right. So I think let me stop here for this video, and we will very soon we will go to the next session with the practicals. Hope you got it cleared what we did up to now, right? So let's continue with the practicals in the next session. Okay. Have a nice time. Thank you very much. And if you like the video, please subscribe to the video. Right. So as I said, let's start with the questionnaires. Right. So it's going to be this time only, I think, 3 to 4 questions. Make sure you are doing 100%. Right. So wish you all the best. Try out the questionnaires and enjoy the questionnaires. Okay. Thanks.